Prime Minister Narendra Modi addressed an India-Jordan business forum in Amman. King Abdullah II and Crown Prince Al Hussein bin Abdullah II also attended the forum. The Prime Minister highlighted areas where India and Jordan can deepen their trade, business and investment linkages. He said India has opportunities, skills, speed and innovation, while Jordan is a geographically important country. In such a situation, mutual cooperation between the two countries can play a role in providing the world with a reliable supply chain.
जानते हैं कि भारत थर्ड लार्जेस्ट इकोनॉमी की ओर तेजी से बढ़ रहा है। भारत की ग्रोथ रेट 8% से ऊपर है। ये ग्रोथ नंबर प्रोडक्टिविटी ड्रिवन, गवर्नेंस और इनोवेशन ड्रिवन पॉलिसीज का नतीजा है। आज दुनिया को नए ग्रोथ इंजन चाहिए। दुनिया को एक ट्रस्टेड सप्लाई चेन की जरूरत है। भारत और जॉर्डन मिलकर दुनिया की इस जरूरत को पूरा करने में बड़ा रोल निभा सकते हैं।
The Prime Minister said that historical trust between India and Jordan, along with future economic opportunities, are paving the way for both countries to build a long-term relationship.
भारत आज जॉर्डन का तीसरा सबसे बड़ा ट्रेडिंग पार्टनर है। मैं जानता हूं कि बिजनेस की दुनिया में नंबर्स का महत्व होता है, लेकिन यहां हम सिर्फ नंबर्स गिनने नहीं आए, बल्कि हम लॉन्ग टर्म रिलेशनशिप बनाने आए हैं। एक जमाना था जब गुजरात से पेट्रा के रास्ते यूरोप तक का व्यापार होता था। हमारी फ्यूचर प्रॉस्पेरिटी के लिए हम वो लिंक्स फिर से रिवाइव करने होंगे और इसको साकार करने में आप सभी का महत्वपूर्ण योगदान रहेगा।
He said that startups from India and Jordan can come together to establish new collaborations in digital public infrastructure, fintech, health tech and agri-tech. He said that cooperation in this sector will provide new opportunities.
आज जॉर्डन के हर बिजनेस, हर इन्वेस्टर के लिए भी भारत में अवसरों के नए द्वार खुल रहे हैं। मैं आपसी सहयोग के कुछ की सेक्टर्स की चर्चा आपके साथ जरूर करना चाहूंगा। ऐसे सेक्टर जहां विजन, वायबिलिटी और वेलोसिटी ये तीनों मौजूद है। पहला, डिजिटल पब्लिक इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर और आईटी। इसमें भारत का अनुभव जॉर्डन के बहुत काम आ सकता है। हिज मैजेस्टी और मैंने इन फ्रेमवर्क्स को जॉर्डन के सिस्टम से जोड़ने पर चर्चा की है। हम दोनों देश फिनटेक, हेल्थ टेक, एग्रीटेक ऐसे अनेक सेक्टर्स में अपने स्टार्टअप्स को डायरेक्टली कनेक्ट कर सकते हैं।
In addition to fertilizers, the Prime Minister spoke about cooperation with Jordan in the pharmaceutical sector, saying that this sector will be beneficial for the world.
फार्मा और मेडिकल डिवाइसेस के क्षेत्र में भी अनेक संभावनाएं हैं। आज हेल्थ केयर सिर्फ एक सेक्टर नहीं है, बल्कि एक स्ट्रेटेजिक प्रायोरिटी है। जॉर्डन में भारतीय कंपनियां मेडिसिन बनाएं, मेडिकल डिवाइस बनाएं, इससे जॉर्डन के लोगों को तो फायदा होगा ही। वेस्ट एशिया और अफ्रीका के लिए भी जॉर्डन एक रिलायबल हब बन सकता है। जेनरिक्स हो, वैक्सीन्स हो, आयुर्वेद हो या वेलनेस, इंडिया brings trust and Jordan brings reach.
The Prime Minister described infrastructure sector as essential for development. He appreciated the Jordan King's vision for reconstruction in Syria.
Friends, infrastructure और कंस्ट्रक्शन तेज ग्रोथ के लिए बहुत जरूरी है. इन क्षेत्रों में हमारा कोलैबोरेशन हमें स्पीड और स्केल दोनों देगा. हिज मैजेस्टी ने जॉर्डन में रेलवे और नेक्स्ट जनरेशन इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर बनाने का विजन साझा किया है. मैं उनको विश्वास दिलाना चाहता हूं कि हमारी कंपनियां उनके विजन को साकार करने के लिए सक्षम भी हैं और उत्सुक भी हैं. कल हमारी मुलाकात में हिज मैजेस्टी ने सीरिया में इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर रिकंस्ट्रक्शन की जरूरतों के बारे में भी बताया. भारत और जॉर्डन की कंपनीज इन जरूरतों को पूरा करने पर मिलकर काम कर सकती है.
Addressing the business forum, King Abdullah II said that India has witnessed great growth under Prime Minister Modi's leadership. He said that with Jordan's strategic location and FTAs and India's economic growth, both countries hold the potential to build an economic corridor linking South Asia with West Asia, Africa and Europe.
India has witnessed great growth, and we look forward to working with you all to take our economic partnership to further heights. Jordan offers competitive advantages across key sectors such as food, fertilizer, pharmaceuticals, textiles, ICT, energy, mining, tourism, advanced manufacturing, and logistics. With Jordan's strategic location and FTAs, and with India's economic power and advanced industries, we have the potential to build an economic corridor that links South Asia to the Middle East, Africa, and Europe.
Meanwhile, exploring ancient links between India and Jordan, Prime Minister Modi and Crown Prince Al Hussein bin Abdullah II visited the Jordan Museum, reflecting on shared civilizational links and the centuries-old connections between India and Jordan. They were given a special tour of the museum by Princess Sumaya bint Al Hassan, the vice chair of the museum. The Jordan Museum aims to preserve and present the country's rich cultural heritage. It is a learning center that shares knowledge in many engaging ways. This knowledge is kept up to date through ongoing research for every section the museum offers, from gallery exhibitions to conservational and educational programs. This according to the museum's official website. The museum tells the story of innovation that spans 1.5 million years of Jordanian history and archaeology. And earlier, in a rare and warm display of friendship, Jordan's Crown Prince personally drove the Prime Minister in a car to the Jordan Museum. The Prime Minister shared the moment on X, captioning it as, "On the way to the Jordan Museum with His Royal Highness Crown Prince Al Hussein bin Abdullah II. The Crown Prince is the 42nd generation direct descendant of Prophet Muhammad. And earlier on day one of his visit on Monday, the Prime Minister held productive discussions with King Abdullah II in Amman. The Prime Minister said that the King's personal commitment towards vibrant India-Jordan relations is noteworthy. Now, this year, the two countries are celebrating the 75th anniversary of the bilateral diplomatic relations. This milestone will continue to inspire us to move forward with renewed energy in the times ahead. Holding a press briefing on which the India's Ministry of External Affairs detailed the Prime Minister's one-on-one and delegation-level talks with King Abdullah II. Take a listen.
Honorable Prime Minister arrived yesterday in Jordan and was accorded ceremonial welcome at the airport. He, along with the Prime Minister of Jordan, inspected the guard of honor at the airport. After brief talks with the Prime Minister of Jordan, they departed for the hotel, and at the hotel, the Indian community and Friends of India warmly welcomed the Prime Minister. There was a small cultural program at the hotel to welcome the Prime Minister. Later in the day, Prime Minister departed for Al Husseiniya Palace. At the palace, he was warmly welcomed by His Majesty King Abdullah II. Prime Minister was accorded a guard of honor at the palace. After this, both the leaders had a one-on-one conversation, followed by delegation-level talks.
And on the question of fight against terrorism, the Indian diplomat said that after the Pahalgam attack, the Jordan king had called Prime Minister Modi to express his solidarity with India, reject terrorism in all forms, and highlight his leadership in moderation, de-radicalization, and counter-terrorism.
After the Pahalgam attacks, His Majesty had called our Prime Minister, expressing solidarity with India, and had conveyed that they reject terrorism in all its forms and manifestations. And King has been a leading voice. In fact, he's a voice of moderation. He's been known to have substantial work in the area of de-radicalization and counter-terrorism, or he's against extremism. He has some very well-known initiatives, in fact, which he has initiated. You know, the Aqaba process is a multilateral initiative. India has also been participating in that. His messages on, his Amman message and also a common word message also received very positive responses. We appreciate his views, and we have been discussing, counter-terrorism with him.
Right, joining us for more on the Prime Minister's ongoing visit is my colleague Tapas Bhattacharya, who is in Amman. Also joining us is Ambassador Asaf Saeed, a former secretary in the Ministry of External Affairs and former Indian ambassador to Saudi Arabia, Seychelles, and Yemen. Ambassador, before I come to you, let me go across to my colleague Tapas. Tapas, what more can you tell us about the just concluded business event in particular?
Well, Ramesh, let me put it this way, that the business community were quite happy. They're excited. They said that the way Jordan delegation and Jordanian government actually embrace them, they have asked them to come here and set shop and be a partner in development. That says a lot, and the kind of camaraderie that Prime Minister Narendra Modi and King Abdullah II showed and earlier in the day, as well as in this particular business forum, that actually augurs well for both countries. India has certain specialization. Jordan has certain things to offer to India, and they believe that both business leaders from both countries believe that both countries can actually take a leaf out of that and actually can grow together. Just to put it into perspective, we spoke to some of the Indian fintech company, Indian medtech companies, and they said that with the Prime Minister's involvement, they believe that they can have a major stake here in Jordan, and from Jordan they can have they can actually expand across the West Asia as well as in Africa and other countries, as Jordan has FTAs with almost more than 15 countries, including European Union and United States. So they want to take a full advantage of that. We spoke to some of the members of the Senate, Jordan Senate, and they were very happy. They said that they believe that India, being an elder brother, can help Jordan economy revamp itself, especially when it comes to critical mineral, new and renewable energies resources, and at the same time providing a cutting-edge education system to its society. So it's a win-win situation for both countries, and hopefully in the near future, this will translate in a much bigger reform and much bigger practice for both countries. Also, one point that the senator mentioned, that they want the next visit to happen in India so that they can come and experience the incredible India that they have heard so much about. So, looking forward to the Jordanian side is looking forward to come to India. Ramesh.
And quickly, before we let you go, Tapas, you've spent the last several days in Jordan. You also heard the Ministry of External Affairs hold a briefing on the visit. Recap for our viewers some of the highlights of the Prime Minister's visit to Jordan.
Right. So, Ramesh, it's a fact that Prime Minister's Jordan visit is expected to be a major game changer. It's a watershed moment for both countries. To be specific, the Jordan's location, the geographical location, provides India access to the West Asia. Any sort of a West Asia peace plan will have Jordan in its middle. So India required Jordan, and Jordan also required India in that sense. And also there are 5 MOUs, in fact 4 MOUs and a letter of intent that was also signed by both the countries. And it shows that Jordan wants to have India as its partner, not just in a sense, but in a way that it surpasses the generic trade partnership that generally we saw. So they have been working together, and as I mentioned, it's be it in the partnership of digital transformation, be it in the partnership of MOU in new and renewable energy, water, irrigation, water development. All these are very important. They want to again reopen the trade route from Gujarat all the way to Petra and then to Africa. And remember that at one point of time in history, they used to have that kind of a trade route. It used to be called the Golden Route. So they want to again re-establish that. And in fact, because of that, they have signed an agreement on a twining agreement between Ellora in India, Ellora Caves in India, and Petra in Jordan. Petra is one of the 7 wonders of the world, and Ellora, we all know, is a pride of India. So they want to inculcate an agreement which can benefit both countries, and that's something that they've been talking about. So 5, and also Jordan wants to, they have shown their interest in becoming part of India's International Solar Alliance, Global Biofuel Alliance, and also in CDRI. So it's a holistic 360-degree development and a partnership that we are looking forward in days to come. Ramesh.
All right, we'll leave you there for now. Tapas, thank you. Tapas Bhattacharya reporting there from Amman in Jordan. Right, going across to our guest, Ambassador Saeed, who is joining us on this broadcast. Ambassador, welcome once again to this discussion. Now, before we discuss the substantive outcomes from the visit, let me focus a bit on the symbolism of the visit as well. And we just saw towards the end of the Prime Minister's visit to Jordan, the Crown Prince personally driving the Prime Minister first to the museum and then seeing him off at the airport. So your thoughts on the symbolism attached to this visit of the Prime Minister to Jordan to begin with?
Thank you, Mr. Ramchandran. I'm glad to talk to you after a long time. You talked about symbolism. Symbolism is extremely important in the Arab world. And these gestures show that Jordan regards India as an extremely important country. And I think over a period of time since Prime Minister Narendra Modi took office, he has very successfully developed personal chemistry with the leaders of the Arab world. And this is a reflection of that chemistry in Jordan, where we saw the Jordan's Prime Minister Jafar Hassan come along with senior ministers, Mayor of Amman and all that, to receive him with the complete guard of honor. Then this particular gesture of the Crown Prince to drive himself. This is the highest honor as a personal friend they could give to a leader. So this is a very important gesture, and it reminds me of the similar gestures which our Prime Minister received when he visited Saudi Arabia and UAE.
So in a sense, a power ride, in a car, in the motorcade has become another highlight of the Prime Minister's visits to foreign nations. And it's, like you say, high on symbolism, no doubt. But let's now focus a bit, if you will, to the substantive outcomes from the visit in terms of the agreement signed. Are you satisfied with the agreements and the nature of the discourse during the visit?
I think I'm very, very satisfied with the outcome of the discussions, because first and foremost, our Prime Minister's meetings with King Abdullah II, at the Hosseiniya Palace were very fruitful, because all the things which we focus on, that is strengthening on bilateral relationship, regional security, shared strategic priorities. So both the leaders emphasized a common stance against terrorism, extremism, and radicalization, and called it a very strong and strategic message to humanity. So this is extremely important. Then, of course, the agreements which were signed, covering different areas, including renewable energy, and the twinning between Petra and Ellora, signals a very cultural dimension between the relationship, extending the CEP. All these are very, very important. And if I may like to add that Jordan is an extremely important country for us. One, from the strategic point of view, if we see, and of course, we just talked about the location and all. Other also is the religious symbolism which is associated with the Jordanian leadership, because King Hussein is the direct descendant of Prophet Muhammad, and in that capacity, he is also the custodian of Jerusalem's holy sites, especially Al-Aqsa, which has significance, in the entire Islamic world. At the same time, the Kingdom of Jordan is a balanced voice in the Arab world, and discussions on whether Israel, Gaza, or any other Palestinian two-state solution, or acting as a buffer in Levantine instability, Jordan plays a critical role. And if India has to, reach out to the other partners in the Arab world, like the Palestinians and Syrians, Jordan would be a good, conduit country with us. And especially since there is a reconstruction, possibilities which are emerging both in Gaza as well as Syria. And for Gaza, we have already pledged about 4 million towards reconstruction. Jordan will emerge as a very important partner for India. Now, coming to our own bilateral thing, one of the important aspects of Jordan is that it is a primary supplier of fertilizers to India, mainly phosphates and phosphoric acid, which are extremely essential for India's agricultural growth. If you look at the figures, last year alone, the import of fertilizers from Jordan actually exceeded $1.2 billion. So I think this particular visit would provide us an opportunity to discuss long-term fertilizer supplies, and so that we take care of the food security aspect, which is very important for our population. Another extremely important dimension of Jordan, from my understanding, is that when the proposal for India, Middle East, Europe economic corridor was mooted during the India's presidency of G20. So when it is conceived, Jordan is an important element of this. First, of course, there will be from India to connectivity between India and the Gulf countries, and from Gulf countries, particularly Saudi Arabia, railroad to Jordan. So Jordan is an important angle from Jordan to Haifa, and then thereafter to Europe.
Indeed.
So for us, as a connectivity, it is extremely important to establish good relations.
Ambassador, talking about Jordan's importance, like you mentioned, in terms of fertilizer, in terms of connectivity, trade corridor, another important feature, if I may add here, is King Abdullah II himself is an advocate of interfaith harmony. Now, does King Abdullah's leadership in addressing terrorism, extremism, and radicalization hold lessons for the region and world at large?
Yes, I think it is indeed, because, West Asia has always been a troubled spot, and where we had seen several non-state actors, like Hamas and Hezbollah and the Houthis, fomenting trouble in that area. Then we also had Al-Shabaab from Somalia, and many other players which are like that, ISIS, Al-Qaeda. So I think within that, we see Jordan as a very moderate voice of Islam, and it has a salutary effect on the population. So I think it is extremely important to cultivate this kind of relationships where interfaith aspect is there, for people who are living there, and as well as for people in the region.
Indeed. Ambassador, I've been reading some of your writings on the Prime Minister's visit, and I wanted to ask you also about the geopolitical flux that we're seeing in the region and the timing of the Prime Minister's visit. I'm afraid that's all we have time for. I will have to leave it at that. May I thank you for joining us and sharing your perspectives with our viewers at home and abroad. Thank you for your time. Much appreciated.